let me tell you how they control media, because this is insane, yeah? Stephen Bird, Google him. Stephen, if you're watching this, when they unmasked me as leader of the English Fence League, 2010, probably, 11, a journalist called Stephen Bird knocked on my mum's door. And my mum rang me and said, journalists here, they're looking for Tommy Robinson. So I was like, right, game's up. Up until this point, no one knew who I was. So I was still living a bit of a normal life. The police knew who I was, but it weren't out there mainstream. Now, I was shitting myself, if I'm honest, because I thought, now it's on top. Now, if you search my name, it brings you back to my mum's address online. Mum's going to be targeted, house is going to be targeted. So I was worried. So I met this journalist up a pub in Farleigh in Luton, and he was fair. And when he said, when he sat down, he said, Stephen, your life changes tomorrow. I said, why? He said, well, you're front page of the Times newspaper. Everyone's going to know who you are tomorrow. But I kept in contact with him, and I kept speaking to him, and I trusted him. Yeah. So 2017 comes. I'm doing my journalism. I'm outside a Leeds court, and there's 30 Muslim men on trial for raping young kids. And as they walk in, I ask them how you feel about your verdict. Now this story went worldwide. The police come and arrest me outside the court. I'm sentenced within 2 hours. I went to work. My car was outside. Like, see you later, kids. See you later, Jenna. I'm going to work. Yeah. 2 hours later, I've got 13 months. I rang her my phone call from the prison. I rang my wife. I said, all right. I said, I'm in jail. She was like, what? I said, I've just got 13 months in prison. She's like, fuck off. I was like, have you had enough yet? Like, I was thinking, here we go. But I got 13 months in jail. It blew up, world news. They tried to put reporting restrictions on it. I was sentenced. They said I breached a reporting restriction. It took 12 weeks to get to the Court of Appeal, where they realised everything they'd done was unlawful and illegal, and I was released. Now, when I was released from prison, the government had funded on social media questions about your view on Tommy Robinson. Now, when I was in jail, 565,000 people signed a petition to have me released. 30,000 people marched on Parliament. Now, this would have worried the establishment. Yeah. So when I come out of jail, I'm told, someone comes to me and says, Panorama are doing an investigation into you. It's called Tommy Takedown. Yeah, they're coming for you. So I think Panorama are the best. For anyone who doesn't understand, Panorama are the flagship investigation company for the BBC. They do documentaries, and when they make a documentary, people listen. Yeah, they are experts in covert recording. I don't know. Have you watched Panodrama?
Yeah.
So they come and they're doing Panodrama on me. So I get a girl to covertly record the head of Panorama and get recordings of what they're planning on me. And I was shocked. I was shitting myself, yeah? But I'd send her in, she wears a wire, she wears a camera, she goes out drinking, she's with the head of the BBC, and they're all sitting talking, and he's openly saying, we're going to stitch him. And they're telling people what to say about me in interviews. Say this, say this.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week, and for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
Then they say they're going to make sexual allegations against me. Yeah? This is why I struggle with the Russell Brand story, the Andrew Tate. I've seen it. I would have been that.
Got it.
They were hammering me. I was going to be the new Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. But when the girl gets it all recorded, she covertly records it all. Then I contact Stephen Bird. I say, I need a meeting with you. I've got some gold. Yeah. He comes to see me. I play him all the recordings, and he's like, do you know how big this is? I said, yeah. This is the biggest flagship program making up fake news to destroy a political opponent. On behalf of who? The government? So this is massive. And he said, this is massive.
Is it ultimately on behalf of the government?
It's on behalf of the government.
Because the BBC is owned by the government.
BBC is owned by the government. They're ending me.
Paid for by the people.
They were ending me. Yeah. This would have been the end of me. No one would have ever listened to a word I said again because I'd have been a sexual deviant, all the things that they would have told people about me. So I sit down with Stephen Bird, he listens to all the recordings, and then he says, right, this is massive. He goes away, arranges to meet me next day, comes back next day, I'm not allowed to run it. I said, and then by this time, what was he, Telegraph by this time? I said, you're not allowed to run it. He goes, I can't publish it. I said, free press. Like, what the fuck? And you know, so then I said, okay, you're not allowed to run it. So he weren't allowed to run it, but Panorama then rang me for an interview. They'd been looking for me. So I rang them up and said, right, meet you tomorrow. Didn't give them any time. I set up a screen behind me and I met them in a location that I chose. I said, I have to meet you tomorrow. It's got to be tomorrow. I didn't want them time to have think about it. So they've come to meet me. John Sweeney sat there, I'm sat here. All the producers are there. And then I just sat and asked him, would you ever tell anyone what to say about me in an interview? He said, no, press play. So on the screen behind me, it played him telling people what to say. Would you ever make up sexual allegations? No, press play. Are you a racist, John? Because that's what they call me, press play. I had him being racist, I had him being homophobic, I had him talking about shooting gay people. I had him banged to rights in covert recordings, yeah? The producers were putting their heads in their hand like that. So I get this documentary, and then I hire the biggest screen there is in the country, yeah? And I put it outside BBC's head office in Manchester, Salford. And 10,000 people turn up for me to show this film.
What's it called?
Panodrama.
Panodrama, that was your film?
That was my film.
Okay, that was your first film?
That was my first documentary.
Okay, how long?
That set me on my way, and that was what, 2018 was it?
And like 30-minute or feature film?
No, it was an hour, over an hour and 15.
Okay.
Hour and 15, and what it showed was that Panorama, the BBC that we pay for, were working with far left extremist organisations who were blackmailing my old employees in order to get them to say things on TV about me. And then they used that on the documentary, and then they used multiple people who are being blackmailed, yeah, and paid to say things, and then they tell people what to say, and they build a whole catalogue of things. So when you watch this documentary, you just think he's a scumbag. But you don't realise that all the people are being blackmailed and paid, and that all these abusive tactics are being used. And the BBC keep their hands dirty because they're not paying anyone. They use the extremist groups, Hope Not Hate, far left provocateurs. They use these groups to act where the police and the BBC can't. Yeah, so it's an operation. And you know what? I went back through the history of Panorama, and they've done this to Conservative MPs 30 years ago with the same group. Hope Not Hate used to be called Searchlight. They got fined. They had to pay millions. So this is nothing new. It's nothing new. The difference is now social media. We've been lied to, we've been manipulated, we've been played, we've been deceived, we've been all of these things by the mainstream media. The media are a weapon of a totalitarian state. We don't live in a free state. Stop pretending we do. We don't have free speech. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a totalitarian state. The media, the judiciary, all these things are just weapons of that state. You've realised it when you've spoke up. You've realised it when you've been deplatformed. But my deplatforming, I produced Panodrama. It had 2 million views in 24 hours. I was deleted from everything at that point.
That was 2009. 18, they took you off Twitter. 19, they took you off Facebook.
When they took me off Facebook was this, because of Panodrama. Do you know what they done? They made it that if you mention Tommy Robinson, you get taken off Facebook. So overnight, they made it impossible for anyone to see the film, talk about the film. They erased it, and they erased me. And you know the difficulty. At that time, my journalism was flying.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.